Hello. How are you guys doing? I'm trying to get him to stay here, and he's living his own life. I know you guys don't see too much of him. Hello. I'm so excited. I've got so much to say. But first, hi from, is it Birmingham, UK? Hello, Sabra. Hello. Oh my gosh. There has been a lot going on this month that I have not been filming because it's in preparation for things that are coming. And oh, hello from Salem. Hello, Claire. Hello from, is that Newburyport, Massachusetts? I love Massachusetts. Hello. Hello from Ohio. Hello from Australia. Olivia, what time is it in Australia right now? I would imagine it's an odd time. Hello from Spain. Hello, Eva. Is it Eva or Ava? It's spelled with an E, so I think Eva. Hello from Louisiana. Hello, Kayla. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Where do I even begin on this month? I didn't normally, sometimes I like make a list of what I'm gonna like of all of the things that it's 8 a.m. Olivia. Oh my gosh. Hello from the Catskills, New York. Hello, Irving. Irving, by the way, is the best name ever. Oh, do you guys like? Thank you so much, Julia. Or is it Justine? I'm trying to think. Normally I make a list before I do these, but this one I've kind of just been running around like a chicken missing its head. And I don't know. I'm confident that I have enough to chat about that. I don't need a list. Pierre, it's midnight in France. Thank you for staying up. I usually stay up till midnight every night, so I don't know if can we see your dress? I don't know if I can stand. I don't need to know if it's a lot. I'll try to. That there's like a. It's a very, very floofy dress. I got it on Etsy, I think, and it's been sitting in a closet. I don't wear black too often, but I happen to think I look nice in black. So I suppose I painted my nails black. I don't know that I've ever in my whole life painted my nails black. Um, James, hello, James. Let's see. I'm trying to think, where was I going? Because, like I said, we can talk about this month's episode, and I can explain why it's going to be coming a little later than I thought. The attic is basically where the next sort of collection of episodes are going to be taking place. And there was a lot that needed to be done in the attic before any kind of like really filming or projecty kind of stuff could happen. So I was working up there, and that's really like what I've been doing for most of the month there. So nobody, I'm trying to think, the house kind of sat here, not really messed with too much for about 20 years. And the attic was filled with a combination of unbelievably important things and then also like just kind of like silliness because everyone has a catch-all in their house for where they, obviously throw the things they don't know what to do with. And there was a lot of that I had to sort of suss out what is something important and what is something that really just needs to like go away. Is it incredibly hot up there, Emily? It is a furnace. I tried calling our people, like our AC people, if they could set up something, and they never called me back. So, yes, it is toasty and very warm. But all of that being said, I don't usually give away what the episodes are going to be, but I kind of feel like it's necessary. Any Black Widows up there? There are no Black Widows here. In California, Black Widows galore. They were, especially the house I grew up in. You could like I was in bed one time and a Black Widow came down from the ceiling and landed on me. And the truth is, they just want to get away from you. They look like obviously like the devil's minions, but they're kind of just scaredy cats. And there's no um there's no scary spiders here, I don't think. They're all just they're ghost spiders. You'll their webs will develop on things that you move, but you don't really ever see them. I thought I saw. Did you relocate the bats? No, I'm pretty sure the bats are planning on relocating me. It's their house as far as they're concerned. And no. So I just basically have a cutoff time in the attic that I stop going up there once the sun starts to go down, because just about that time the bats start flying around up in the attic. So I I researched rabies a bunch and it scared me, even though it's like a much smaller percentage of bats have rabies than you think they do. And if you think you get bit by a wild animal, you go get the shot. And that's why so few people get rabies every year. But it still scares me. It's a terrifying way to go. Would love to see what is in the attic. I'm glad you asked because, okay, so what should I do? How should I say this? So the umbrella episode, the parasol episode that I'm currently working on, I saved it until the end of the month because I thought I've done a parasol. I know that doesn't take a lot of time and I can work up here in the attic a lot. And so I waited until just kind of towards the end of the month, maybe the last 10 days. And then I started on the parasol, and I have a problem where if an idea creeps into my head, no matter how complicated it is or time consuming, once the idea has been placed, I have to do it, even if it means extending deadlines. And so I'm doing a bunch of hand embroidery on this. And so it's just taking longer. I thought I was going to be almost done and you guys were going to get the episode like the first or second day of June, and it's going to be a little bit longer than that. So with that said, I'm not going to tell you what. There's going to be a public episode in June, and there's obviously a private Patreon episode for you guys coming. I'm not going to tell you what that is because that's just a fun surprise. But in the month of July, do you guys want me to tell you what July's episode is going to be? I'm going to pour myself some tea. By the way, Tim Metcalf got me this beautiful teapot that has bats on it. And I'm using it right now because everything's black. So I think we can all say quality over quantity. James, I'm so happy you feel like that because that is the mantra I live by. I just feel like there's a million people just like posting things, and a lot of it's wonderful, but my magic power is patience. Like that, being willing to spend horrifically obscene amounts of time on things is the thing that kind of sets me apart. And so, yeah, I try to make sure that the episodes that I'm making are something that people will enjoy even 100 years from now. So that's my goal. Tell us. I'm sorry. Okay. So the July episode, assuming I can get our AC person to come and make that attic not an oven, is hold on, I caught on my bracelet. I'm going to be showing how to turn an attic into a creepy old set. So you know how like what was it, The Lady in White? Like all of those movies you watched as like a kid, the attic is like this dusty, cool, old place. Well, the attic here is really dusty and old and cool, but I'm going to show how to stage things in a really specific kind of way for like shooting. So it's going to be like antiques and all sorts of things being put around with like a lot of really, really cool things. So it might sound like a weird episode, but it's just going to be really awesome because I've already got all the antiques up there. I've been like collecting things. And so it's just going to be a really spooky. I'm going to show you how to camouflage like normal attic things like heating and cooling ducts and things like that. And it's going to be a really fun episode. I'm really excited about it. staging and set dressing. It's all of that and a whole bunch of secrets for how to like hide things you don't want to see. Will you be doing any antique shopping adventures? I absolutely will be. Let me get a sip of tea. I've mentioned that I have a friend named Matt that kind of runs the Syracuse Antiques Exchange. It's a 5-story antique like mall essentially. And that would be the perfect place. What will you be doing at the July Halloween con in SoCal? So in July, I'm going to be at Midsummer Scream, and I'm doing, I don't want to give away too much, but I am planning on doing kind of a workshop sort of a thing. It's still very rough. We were just talking about it today. And we are trying to work out something that is going to be, I'm trying to think, something that we can do just for you guys. So I'm probably going to do a poll to find out kind of the number of people here on Patreon that would be able to attend. And then once I had an idea in mind of what that number would be, I would like to do something really kind of intimate that we could kind of meet and talk and like have kind of a slightly more special visit than, I mean, everyone's going to be getting. So if you're going to be at Midsummer Scream, I will be there Saturday and Sunday, which is July 30th and 31st. It's going to be, I don't know if you've ever gone to this event. I've only gone once and it was such an incredibly fun time. Oh, you got your tickets, Sophia. I can't wait to meet you. Okay, I'm trying to think. How are your kitties? They are scattered to the 4 corners of the earth. I'm in the library right now, and somehow, which we're thinking Buttons was going to be putting on a show, and instead he has just disappeared. Let's see. I see some of the other guests are family members. Our universe, are we all done? Oh, it went away. I'm not good if the comments like start going through. Yes, Leslie, it's a really neat event. If you like Halloween, if you like anything spooky, it's very exciting. Will you ever have a website that you sell fan merch? I don't know. I thought I saw somebody asking on the status of the wallpaper. That has been a whole thing. So there was a technique that I really wanted on how this wallpaper was going to be made, the one that we designed in the episodes. And it's taken a really long time to determine at this place. Yes, it can be done, but I have to fix something about the design to make it really like pop and look right. So I've been running around like doing all these other things. So the wallpaper's been delayed, but it's still happening. And this thing that we are going to be able to pull off is going to make it all the better. So it's going to be amazing. I'm very jazzed about that. Let's see. Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think. So all I've been doing for the last 4-5 days is embroidering just over, and it's an umbrella. So it's repetitive embroidery, meaning what you do. So you don't really film if it's like super repetitive. So I've just been like sitting around looking like a goblin and just and listening to audiobooks. I'm trying to think, did I listen to anything? I don't think I've gotten any. The Phantom of Fifth Avenue, which is about You Get Clark, I'm listening to that. I kind of feel like Empty Mansions, which is also about her, is a slightly better one, but this one does go into more depth about like her history. Can we get a hair tutorial? I need to do that. I have a vague plan of how I'm going to do that, but I've also been talking about it forever. So yes, it is coming at some point. Have you been watching the new Stranger Things, James? We finished it last night. I won't say anything and nobody give anything away. I feel like this was the best season. I watched all of it. And we watched all of the seasons leading up to it being released. And the first time I watched the third season, I wasn't crazy about it. And then this time, like on a second viewing, it's amazing, is what I was going to get at. I almost want to say it's one of the best seasons. It's better than the second, I think. If you watch it again, I had the same impression of the Dark Shadows movie Tim Burton did. The first time I saw it, I had an expectation of what it was going to be, and it didn't align with what that was. And then when I started watching it after I didn't have that impression, I love it. It's one of my very favorite of his movies. It might be my favorite of his movies. So, yes, I know like the third season got a lot of flack, but it's incredible. What stone is in your necklace? This is my mother's necklace. She had it. I don't know how old it is. She always had it when I was growing up, and then she gave it to me. And I don't wear black too often. So I just figured this is the perfect outfit to be wearing it with. Will you ever have a meet in your for your local New York fans? So would you guys be interested in me doing a potential meet at this Syracuse Antiques Mall? Because I was talking to him about that. And I don't know if we would do a signing of some kind. Maybe I could have posters printed and we could have something there. I would have to get a sense of how many people could, attend, but that could be fun. So yes, that is a potential. Is Syracuse a reasonable location? I think so. Let me get another little sip. Your dress is fab. It's a very, what's funny? It's a very fancy dress. It's a very, very good quality 1950s dress that I found. But it does make me nervous because the lace is very like delicate on it. Yes, the reason doing a signing at an antique mall is the best thing is when we're done, you get to shop around like the coolest mall on earth or at the antique mall. Oh, and I've got another project. I'm just going to tell you, I don't care. One of the antique places that I go to, her name's Debbie, and she's wonderful. She got me I think it's an 1860s wedding dress. It's in really, really terrific condition and it almost fits. And so I think I might make an episode of showing how to tailor something to make something just a little bit larger and actually like doing like a shoot in this like 1860s wedding dress. And it's a beautiful dress. If you guys would like to see that, say yes in the comments. I will walk there if I have to. Oh, yay, New Hampshire. Joan, I love New Hampshire. I think I've only been once with my mom, and it is so beautiful. I think it's one of the prettier places I think I've ever been. We stayed at a bed and breakfast there. That was like amazing. Yes, tailoring. Okay. I've been doing, gosh, that's what I was going to say. I'm drowning in ideas right now. You know how you sometimes hear people talk about being kind of like creatively drained? I sometimes become creatively like overwhelmed. Like I have so many different projects I want to get to, and you really have to, put your time into each one of these. And so every single one I've been getting super pumped about, I'm like, well, you have to wait until you do these 5 other projects before you get to that. But I don't even know. I can't say too much because I do like surprising you guys. But if you ever worry about me running out of ideas, you shan't worry because I will die from an accident doing one of these projects before I run out of ideas. I think I've mentioned the thing that upsets me most about dying is you keep getting smarter as you get older and more knowledgeable and better at the things that you do. And then you die. And it's just, if people could live to like 500, my gosh, we'd be in space. there would be all sorts of incredible things. Okay. Any more furniture rehabs in the future? Let me think about that. Yes, always. Again, this is one of those I'm drowning in ideas and there's a whole bunch of things. I just had a bunch of organs delivered today. I know that's like a weird thing. I haven't eaten anything today and my stomach might growl. So if you hear that, that's what that is. I went on Facebook Marketplace, which I never do. I always go to like Craigslist or eBay. And for some reason, I don't know why I've been neglecting Facebook Marketplace because it's a treasure trove. I wanted an old organ for the attic episode that I'm doing. And I found one for $200. And I reached out to them and I was like, would you actually, it was like $100. And I said, is there any way you would possibly deliver these? And they, for an extra fee, they were willing to. And they were like, we also have this other one if you just want to make it a $200 even. And I was like, sure. And these aren't crappy organs. These are unbelievably beautiful, detailed organs that work. So the guy showed up this morning and there were 3 organs in the back of his truck. And the captive was like, don't surprise me like that. Because I think it almost murdered him getting them in the house because they're humongous, very, very heavy. But anyway, that's something kind of fun. So I might restore one of those, even though they're in really good condition. But you can always tweak things, I think. It's one, like, if you want something really beautiful and amazing in your house, get an organ. They're dirt cheap. They're not usually this cheap. This was kind of a fluke. But the sounds that they make, even if you don't play them, I don't play them. The captive plays them. It's such a beautiful, beautiful sound. Pipe organs, yes. Are they pipe organs? They have bellows. I don't know enough about them to say that with any confidence. They're just very pretty. Let's see. When you first saw the rooms in the house, did you know immediately what you wanted to do with them? Deb, I didn't know immediately. Some of them, it's funny you asked that. So when I did the first tour of the house, I was talking about doing this and doing that. And now that I've been here a while, I actually watched that episode back and I was like, oh, you sweet little thing that you that you think that that's going to happen. You do you get a more realistic idea of what's achievable. So it does it brings you back down to earth a little bit. But yes, I still have grand, wonderful plans, but I also I was like a big wrought iron fence around the whole property. And then I had somebody quote $1 million to have that done. And I was like, well, maybe plants it is. Like, so you do you balance yourself out after a while, after you have a few quotes done. But they shift is what I was going to say, is any ideas that I had initially have shifted slightly because you kind of find that you do different things in different rooms or you spend certain amounts of times. That was a really long response, but that is what I was going to say. The captive. Did you see the captive? I haven't seen him. My grandma taught organ lessons, or grandma taught organ lessons when I was a kid. I can't even imagine how neat that would be. I keep catching on this. I don't have any musical talent or ability. It's just one of those, I love it. I listen to music constantly and I have no idea how to create it or what goes into it. I know when I like it. So that's about it. When is the graveyard competition happening? Tay, I am so sorry. Like I said, I got so wrapped up in everything else. I forgot to set aside time to do that contest. So that will be happening this month. I'm trying to think, because you have to actually spend time reading all of the what do you call it? It's not applications, responses. So I always like to that. So that's why I've been kind of like, well, let's wait until I know that I can make some time for that. Have you any plans to take your Cadillac to the Syracuse Nationals? What are the Syracuse Nationals? I have no idea. I haven't driven the Cadillac this year yet. The Captive got it started, and I am very excited to take it for a drive because it is. You guys heard me whining a lot about winter. Um, and now this is the time of year why we moved here. The weather is beautiful and everything is the most fluffy explosion of green you've ever seen. This year, for some reason, is much more dramatic than last year. Last year was beautiful. But this year it's just like everything's on steroids. It's just, if I don't know, if you do anything, come to the New England, the central New York area at some point during like spring, summer, or fall, and it's amazing looking. Everything is pretty. Ugly buildings are made pretty just by the weeds growing around. It's like it's that pretty. It's a huge car show. Okay. Well, I will have to do that. You know what's funny? You know, some people collect vintage cars. I always wanted one, but now that I have one, that need or desire has been completely satiated, and I have absolutely no desire to have another one. I love this one. I think I'm just going to keep this one forever because I love it so much. But yeah, it like cured me of any like desire to like have more than one. Let's see. A sign of a blossoming future. Would you go? Let's see. Would you go on a fall field trip? I love that idea. I've been thinking about doing a picnic with the Cadillac. Let me think. How picnic at a graveyard? How much fun would that be? I wish there was a way you could set this up in a live stream format that we could all go, but the quality would be terrible. So I'm probably going to have to film it and then make it like an episode. Let's see. Any updates on the carriage house? No, I'm I'm drowning in projects in the house. So that was one of the things that I had talked about, like all of these grand plans for the carriage house. And now I'm just like, there's a lifetime's worth of work in this house. And so it's at the bottom of my list. But if I get to it, I would love to. A pumpkin patch. You guys should see the pumpkin patches here. It's incredible. Come visit the UK. Well, David, it's funny you say that because I've been plotting with my mom for 6 months. And I don't know why I forget about that. It's a very aggressive sounding clock. Um, anyway, my mom and I are going to be going. We're going to go to Ireland, England, London, and then we're going to go to Switzerland, Italy. We're kind of just doing like a whole thing, and it's going to be like a 2-week adventure that the two of us are going to be going on, and I'm pretty sure we're going at the beginning of July. So my mom's never been over there, and I've only been to London for like a couple days for like an event, and then that was it. So I'm beyond excited to actually like explore things. Have your siblings visited the house? Yes, my brother came. Gosh, it's already been forever. He came when it was winter and it was ugly. I think it was maybe like November. It was so cold. It was very, very cold. Switzerland. I've always wanted to go to Switzerland. Is it chocolate that you get in Switzerland that's supposed to be really good? My mom really wants to go to Lake Como, to that like place that was in Star Wars with Natalie Portman. You can actually go, I guess, and like walk around that area. And so that's on our itinerary. Do you go on these vacations with the captive or just your mom? The captive never wants to leave his cell. I think it's, what do you call that? He's been institutionalized. Like, he's so comfortable in his cell. He doesn't go out too much. So I leave him here to protect the premises, and he is very happy doing that. So yes, and my mom loves going on bizarre adventures. So that's what we do. What is the gold statue behind you? It's like an angry chicken or a rooster or something. I don't really know. It just looked dramatic. Ireland is wonderful. Yes, we want to go stay at like castle bed and breakfast kind of places. Like I want to go, I don't know. We're going to I think we're going to try to do like smaller sort of things that aren't as common. I don't think we're doing like big public stuff. So I want to see things that maybe not everybody gets to see and explore things that maybe not everyone's paying attention to. Stockholm syndrome. Tammy, that's what he's got. The captive has Stockholm syndrome. He just thinks it's normal now. A movie night. We should do another movie night. Let me think about what that would be. I want to do a craft along. And I'm not going to say anything. It'll be a surprise. Like I said, I like sharing a lot. And then I also like catching you guys off guard and surprising you with something maybe you didn't expect to see. Okay. Oh, Leslie, that's so sweet. In July, there is a London Film and Comic-Con. Interesting. I'm a little thirsty. I just put some, by the way, the best almond milk on earth. I think it's Almond Breeze, and it says like touch of honey or something like that. It's the best one. Are the pillows new? No. These pillows are older than anyone watching this live stream. These are definitely from the 1800s, and they are ancient, and you don't actually lean on them because if you were to like go like this, they're like tissue paper. So I don't touch them. Let's see. If you stay in a castle, you will never want to stay at a hotel, and I will never want to stay at a hotel. I know. If anyone knows like creepy old castles, if that's even a thing that you can go stay in, send me your suggestions, because I'm just Googling things. And so sometimes people who live in an area have a better idea, or like strange pubs or restaurants to go to. I love any kind of suggestions like that. Oh, Poof. I started calling him me now. So he's me now. If you lure him with the brush, he loves being brushed. I think he sees the brush. Okay. Yes, if you have a suggestion like Lissy here, I will go back here and I will look at these. Did anyone see the Downton Abbey movie? I haven't seen it because I haven't been to a movie theater since 2020, like the first month of 2020. How was your recent vacation? I didn't go. Like I said, I get so excited about things that I'm doing here and like working on the projects, I can kind of become overwhelmed. And we were going to go to like New Orleans, and then somehow I kept putting it off because I was like, I have to do this, I have to do that. And then finally I was like, do we want to go on a big vacation? And then that's how it turned into let's go on this big European adventure. You have a lot of patience. Thank you. It's kind of the bane of my existence. It's why all of these wonderful things have happened to me. And it's also why I kind of make myself crazy working on them. And you find yourself, I'm like the meanest boss to myself that you'll ever know. Like I'm constantly like, that's not it. And if it's not right, you can't put it out. So if for some reason I find out like something isn't right, I'll undo a ton of stuff to make it right. And while you end up with something that's really fantastic at the end, it does kind of test your sanity along the way. Okay, hold on. Have you seen the trailers for the new Elvis movie? What that movie looks like fantastic. It looks amazing. And that guy is so handsome. I loved him in, what was he in? The Quentin Tarantino movie. He played Tex Watson. I'm trying to think. So what I found with the audiobooks is if I run through all of the stories I want to hear, sometimes I'll go back and listen to one that I know that I loved. And I've been doing that. So I listened to Helter Skelter again really recently. I'm trying to, Mama. He's just not having it. Are you going to come over here? I've been brushing him a lot. So he's just like a pile of poof. Oh, hello. Are we saying hello? I'm going to try to coax. I am sorry you guys are getting like a really great shot of his butthole. Okay. Oh, Mama. He's like my little sweetheart lately. But he also does what he wants. I may have mentioned this before. Oh, look at you. Biggles, my little gray tabby, he loved me so much, and he would like look into my eyes, and we were like soulmates. And he just like, you could tell he was like enamored with me. Poof looks at me like I am a housekeeper. And if I'm not doing my job, he looks at me with disdain until I start brushing him again. And I really, like I said, I think he thinks I'm his butler. And really that I am. But he's so pretty. I'm happy to be his little servant. So have you ever seen a poofier? Look at him. He's just like, he's all poof. I might have mentioned this. I've been saving his fur forever since he was a baby. And I have so much because you can actually like wash it and turn it into wool. And I'm going to like make something out of it. I don't know what, but we definitely have enough to make a sweater at this point. Oh, look at you. Oh my gosh. Look at him, his little arm. He is an entertaining little thing. Oh my goodness. You're his captive, 100%. Do you tend to stay up late? I'm funny. I don't think I sleep enough, but I always feel fine. Maybe I don't need as much sleep, but I stay up super late, midnight, 1 o'clock, and then I wake up pretty early. So like 7-ish. So I don't know. Look at you. He loves having his brain tickled, like the little like section of his face. Oh, he loves it. I don't know if you guys can hear him just purring up a storm. Let's see. Trip suggestion. Berg Island in Devon, UK. Done. Only has a hotel for, okay, awesome. That's what I'm hoping for. And I'm going to go to Venice. I've never been to Venice, and I've seen it in so many movies. Oh, by the way, he loves having his beans played with. So his little toe beans on his feet. He loves like when you rub between his toes. Look at him. He like starts stretching like, oh, I like that. Look at you. Okay. Are you afraid of your animals? Are you ever afraid that your animals will ruin or mess up your antiques? I love them more than I love the antiques. So I'm not happy if they break something and I can't fix it, but that doesn't happen too often. And they're not terribly destructive, thankfully. I'm a funeral director and go to bed at midnight and wake up at 5:30. Michael, let's talk, because I know you're not allowed to like watch an embalming, but if you're not like licensed or have some education, but I've always wanted to. And I bought an antique embalming machine that works. It's from, I would guess it's maybe from the 20s. And I've been collecting like more like antique mortician things. I have like a really fun photo shoot I'm planning to use them with. But of all the like professions, I'd want to talk to like astronomers and morticians because I like to know about death and space, my two favorite things. Let's see. Have you seen the Dolly Parton documentary? No, but I love her like almost more than anybody. She's, I think, I don't know. Can we make her a saint? I think at this point, I think that would be appropriate. Venice is spectacular. Okay. Well, then I've heard really good things about Venice. Ooh, and we're going to stay at a hotel. I don't have the name of it on me, but there's a trunk here in the house that has a sticker on it from a hotel, and it's the hotel still exists. So Carrie is one of the original daughters of the house, went and stayed at this hotel, probably like 1902. And I'm actually, my mom and I are going to go stay at the same hotel, which is amazing. It's in Florence. Oh, I'm sorry. It's in Florence, Italy. So we're going to be going there. What was the most interesting antique that you've bought or have a story behind? I'm trying to think. I have my silver tea set that belonged to a sea captain. That's one of my very favorites. And I think I just recently said this. My like gramophone picnic trunk it's still my favorite antique that I have. It's like if the house was burning, I would desperately try to save it. I shouldn't jinx myself though. Fire is like my my greatest fear for this place. Wasn't the original owner born in England? He was. I think it was gosh, now I'm not going to be able to Staffordshire, something like that. I could be wrong. Okay, let's see. I named one of my chickens after Dolly. Oh, by the way, I mentioned my mom's chicken, still alive, and probably will be long after we're all gone. Okay, so let me think. Do you guys have any project questions while we sit here? I'm going to sit and have a little bit. It's a peach tea with a little bit of almond milk. Ooh, imagine you are the reincarnated daughter coming back to visit and live in the house. I love that idea. She was an artist and she painted. Oh my gosh, that's another project. I'm not going to say anything. There's another project upstairs. Like I said, I may have at this particular moment, I've got like 20 different projects like up to bat, but each of them take a whole bunch of time to actually execute. So do you guys want to know what the public episode is going to be for June? Because I can tell you that, and it's amazing. So I call it the Widow's Walk, but it's the room at the very top of the house. There's like a belfry above it, but it's technically called a cupola. And I'm turning it into a seance room. So I'm going to be painting the walls, redoing the floors, like dressing it. It all has to be cleaned. It's absolutely filthy. And the belfry has to be cleaned. So this is all going to be in that episode. So if you guys like creepy, haunted, spooky house stuff, get ready because the next few months are going to be very, very exciting for you guys. And exciting for me. Somebody on here told me I'm going to have a crystal ball in there. And somebody here was so smart and told me that if you do that, keep like a really heavy cloth over it when you're not there, because if the sun came through, it could light the whole place on fire. So I thought that was incredibly helpful information. Yes, it's a widow's walk. I'm just going to call it a widow's walk because I want to. Okay, Christine, what motivates you to make instructional videos and share them? It's a good question. I like to. It's funny. I love doing projects. If none of them were filmed, I would still do them forever. I just is something I love getting better at stuff. I love learning more. I'm always just going to be like that. And the really amazing thing about filming it is I love sharing things and getting like feedback on the things that I've done. And I also learn a ton from you guys with like comments. And so I don't know why I love doing it. It's very fun and it's insanely hard. It's frustrating. You get angry, you get upset, but you end up with this really amazing thing at the end of it. And so I don't know. I think kids are like that. They're frustrating and there's a whole bunch of wild stuff that goes along with it. And then you end up with like somebody that you love and you care about for the rest of your life. So that's how I feel about episodes. Let's see. I have the same attic floors as you do, so I'm curious what you do with them. It's going to be fun. So I bet creating is one of, it really is. I love, it's the best thing on earth. And like I said, my only frustration is that I don't have all of the time in the world to do everything because it just, for me, it just keeps blossoming and I keep learning more and getting better. Oh, Dave, thank you so much. I always worry that you guys get frustrated that it takes me so long to like pull these things together. So I am so grateful that you guys are patient with me because like I said, I just want to put out the very best stuff I possibly can. A cupola is wonderful for venting hot air out. That makes a lot of sense because there is windows all the way around it. I have a wild toddler. It's a good accent. It's totally like that. I mean, you have to invest a massive amount of time in children. And then if you get a good one, it's all worth it. And if you get a dud, I don't know. You still have to feed them. Which, by the way, if there's any like children watching this and you're watching it with your parents, I may have said this before, but it's pretty likely that you are your parents' favorite child. Who doesn't like a kid who like is into the same things as you are? I'm not crazy about kids, but all a kid has to say is I'm into spooky stuff. And I'm like, really? Let's talk about it. And I get really enamored with them. I think it's because it's rare to find kids that are into the same things that I am. So if you do come across it, it's like you feel like they're your kin or something. Have you seen Shining Vale? I have not. Let's see. My toxic trait is trying to do all of your projects and never finishing them. Oh, Lindsay, there's a lot going on and I don't know. This is literally all I do. It's devoted entirely to this. So this is like, it's my job and my passion. So don't ever feel bad. I don't really show you guys the mess ups and there are plenty of mess ups. So just always keep that in mind. My daughter loves Halloween. There is something about little kids that are way into spooky stuff that it's not common to come across. And it makes me so happy. My mom and I are tight because we like the same things. Emily, that's exact same thing with my mom. Do you invest in storage space? I feel like a hoarder. So I am a hoarder, but I'm also a terribly cheap person. And so the idea of paying for a storage place, I can't justify that. I keep it all here. And I think I mentioned so obviously I wear a lot of clothes for all of these and they're all different because part of this is fun to be dressed up for. But if I've worn something enough that I'm not going to really wear it again, it gets put in like a very special bag and put up in a very special place up in the attic. And that is growing. And I'm keeping it because I think I've mentioned this before. I always just assume everything is going to get pulled away and taken away from me. And so I keep them so that if I ever had to, I could survive off of selling like these dresses that I've worn a bunch of times, which might sound bonkers, but I like having like little insurance policies. I'm always like, if this all went away, what else could I do? So it's kind of a smart way to be, I think. Let's see. I want to see a bloopers video. I should do that. I don't know what that would consist of, but there are some pretty unfortunate things that occur sometimes that I don't put in the episodes. How are the bats? The bats are very happy. I wish I could feed them, but I don't know what they like, and they seem like they're getting all that they need. Or at the very least, you'll be broke with a beautiful wardrobe. Exactly, Taylor. That's totally my thinking too. Maybe we should send our bloopers into you. I like that idea more. I already relive my embarrassing stuff enough in my brain. My youngest doesn't like spooky, but we do love dressing up. The most fun costumes I made with my husband. What is a PB&J sandwich? I love that. I was a pumpkin once when I was little, and I loved that costume. I might do that again just because it's very fun. You just wear green tights and like this really fun looking thing. If you catch one, please boop it on the nose. I will definitely do that. Bats eat mosquitoes. Well, then I would never try to get rid of the bats because with all of this green, beautiful stuff comes a million mosquitoes. So it's not really great. And there's ticks. Oh my God. Nobody tells you this stuff, by the way. Maybe people tell you. I wasn't listening. You watch movies like Marie Antoinette and everyone's laying in the grass and the sun is shining and they're drinking milk and have strawberries and everything is beautiful. And what no one tells you is that if you do that in an area like this, you're going to get Lyme disease. It's a real thing. So you have to be careful about ticks and mosquitoes. So I don't know. I don't know why I'm sharing that, but it was a disappointment because definitely when I think I was in my 20s, I was like, I'm going to move to the East Coast and lay in the grass and have picnics and all of that. And now I'm like, what's in the grass? I'm a little concerned. Ticks are very bad. They're horrible. I feel like ticks and wasps, if every one of those on Earth just disappeared, I'd be very happy. I killed a wasp. I'm confessing. I don't kill anything. Like literally anything. Ants. If like ants come around and I feel like one's gonna drown, I like get tissue and I like work around it. But wasps are like evil in like a not nice way. Like they'll land on you and bite you just because they're mean. They're bullies. So I don't like wasps. You should try bat boxes in your yard. I want to do that. I want to also create a model of this house, like a really detailed, beautiful model, and keep it up in the attic, just like in Beetlejuice. I told that to my mom, and she's like, "Why?" And I was like, "Because of Beetlejuice," and she didn't get it. So. Wasps are fine? No, not these ones. These ones are bad. They'll literally, in the attic, they'll show up in the attic and they'll bite you. They've done it to me. I've learned my lesson. I think wasps are the bully to bees. Yes, that's what they are. I love bees. I would never hurt a bee. I try to rescue everything too. That's what I do. I'm not telling you how many times I've like had to pee in the middle of the night and there's like some little something in the toilet water that I'm like, oh, don't drown. And I'm getting like stuff. And that's a really specific detail to share, but it is what I do. Wasps will kill bees. Well, then all the more reason to kill all the wasps. Beetlejuice had the whole town too. that's something to consider. I just like the idea of actually like having like a beautiful model of this house. So what is going on? So I've got this episode, the parasol. I think it might, I don't know if it was an umbrella or a parasol. The material it was made out of, the one that I found in the attic, it couldn't have been an umbrella because water would have just, it's cotton, so water would have just come right through it. So I'm assuming it was a sun umbrella for a man. And so I'm doing something very fun to it. And I'll be making the pattern for this available. So for the, I think it's like 7 and over the second tier and up. I refuse to kill anything. I'm telling you, I have guilt about that wasp, even though I don't like them. Even if I send someone else to kill a wasp, I'm sitting here thinking that wasp has moments to live in. I'm its executioner, and I'm the one who like sent it off. So I do feel guilty about it, even though I don't like them. Would you ever have an antique greenhouse? Sophia, I kill every plant that I touch. So I love the idea of having one, but I would kill everything in it. So yay. So what do we have going on? We have this umbrella coming up. Then next month we have a surprise episode for you guys. It's a simple one that you absolutely can do yourselves. And it's a good prep episode for Halloween this year. So I'm doing it kind of early so you guys can get these yourselves. So that will be next month's episode. And then I'm also doing this public, like the Widow's Walk episode, and it's a really good one. And then in July, we're doing like a whole spooky attic thing. So I'm drowning in projects right now. So if I get quiet on here or I don't get back to messages, that's what I'm doing. So thank you guys for your patience. And so it looks like it's time for me to finally go eat something. I hope you guys have had fun and stay tuned because like I said, it'll be a few days. I'm not done with the project. And so then I've got to actually like edit it. So give me a number of days, but this parasol episode is going to be fantastic. And I hope you guys love it. And so take care of yourselves and I will see you again very, very soon.